Welcome back, Corp Season 3. We have an incredible season for everyone. A-Rod, good to see you. Although I've seen you a billion times between when we started taping this, because we started taping this what feels like years ago.
Exactly.
But we're ready for Season 3. What we're going to do this season is we have 3 episodes that are dropping today and 4 episodes that are dropping on Thursday.
Yep.
We are brought to you, by the way, by our good friends at Presidente Beer. You've been working with Presidente for a while now. Delicious beer. Refreshing. Summer, couple weeks left in summer. Doesn't matter though. Once football season starts, you got to get your Presidente beer. It is the DR's finest export, and we have a giveaway. 4 lucky fans. We're giving away amazing prize. Presidente beer for a year. A signed baseball by me and A-Rod, which I think I take the value of it down. And you also get some Presidente swag and Corp swag. And all you have to do to enter, you must be 21 plus. You must be following A-Rod Corp, and at Presidente USA on social media, and must text your name and why you should win to Alex's personal number. You're giving out your phone number like this?
Something like that.
305-690-0485. Win a baseball signed by myself and A-Rod. The beer is 100% Corp certified and approved. Okay, episode 1. Kevin Durant. We taped this so long ago, but it's such a good interview, and it's we taped it before coronavirus.
Mm-hmm.
We taped it before he had coronavirus. We taped it, I think, at the end of 2019 when the world was a totally different place. But I loved this interview because I've obviously said some things about KD, which some of the harsher things I said, we agreed we'd still do on Part of My Take. We had that agreement. But we got to talk to him about the competitor, what makes him great. And I just love watching you sit with another great athlete and watch you guys kind of gel together and be like, oh yeah, that's what made us special.
It was so cool. I mean, first of all, I didn't realize how tall he was. I mean, he's a 7-footer that just drains jump shots from everywhere. He taught us. So I think you guys all find it really cool. He showed us how to shoot a jump shot. Doesn't mean that you and I are going to shoot like that. But what was most surprising, and it was a pleasant surprise, is how smart, how sweet, how sensitive he was, how much he is into business, and then how much he told us about LeBron James.
Yes.
He revealed a lot.
Yes, and the fact that, there's a lot of people in today's NBA will be like, well, these guys don't hate each other like they used to. And that might be true, but what KD kind of explained was LeBron pushed him to be a better player and made him get in the gym more and push that extra little bit to try to compete with LeBron, knowing that that's the bar. Who was that when you were playing? Who was the bar?
You know, it's funny because when you were saying that, then I was just thinking about, Magic and Bird would always say I would be working in Indiana while I knew Magic was working in LA and vice versa. I think about Michael Jordan trying to beat the Pistons. For me, it was trying to beat the Yankees. And it was, Jeter was Garcia Parra. We had like these great young shortstops coming up. And then when I got to New York, I needed to work so hard because I knew that Big Papi and Manny Ramirez and Pedro Martinez for the Red Sox were doing everything in their power to beat the crap out of us, and we were doing the same exact thing.
Yes, and it's great to hear someone, I mean, like you just explained it, but also when Kevin explains it, like you think of the great athletes and you think that comes so effortlessly to them a lot of times. But finding that one motivation, finding that person they have to push themselves to be like, it's fascinating, and it was a great interview. And like I said, we're going to get him on Part of My Take because we have definitely talked some junk about him. And when I walked in and he saw me, he was like, oh, you're the dude. And I was like, yeah, we have some things we got to discuss. But this was a great interview, and really excited to have this be the start of Season 3 with the Corp. Before we get into the interview, A-Rod, this is actually one of my favorite sponsors we've ever had, because I remember when we first talked, you told me the importance of investing in real estate and how early on when you started in Seattle, you were buying apartments left and right. So we have our friends at Cross Country Mortgage. And I think this is an important sponsor for our audience, especially because the word mortgage is a scary word for a lot of people. and they don't know that they can probably qualify for a mortgage today, and they're throwing money away renting. I imagine you haven't rented in a long time. You knew that the value of owning a place. You just actually bought a new place. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So, like, the idea that a mortgage, you're building equity. When you first started and you were like, hey, I'm going to invest in real estate, what was that like?
It was scary. I mean, first of all, I think there's a difference between owning a home and commercial real estate. One is an asset, one is a liability. So a home where you live is a liability because it takes money out of your pocket every month. An asset is an apartment building or an office building where you're receiving money every month. However, you're looking at interest rates at a historic low.
Right.
So if you can lock in 7 years, 5 years, 10 years at a fixed cost with a great mortgage, be very smart. It gives you tons of flexibility. So the idea is if you're paying $1,500 a month and you can lock that in for 10 years with a great mortgage, your gold is like rent. You get the benefits of renting, but with the benefits of owning.
Right. And Cross Country Mortgage, I talked to them actually a couple weeks ago. They're just regular, genuine people. It's a people first business where they know that every person is different, whether you're a military vet, whether you might not have the best credit, whether you've been renting your whole life and you're like, hey, now I want to try to take the leap. They will deal with you on a person-to-person basis, trying to find you the right mortgage that will make sure that you can own a home today with Cross Country Mortgage. They've been doing it since 2003. Like I said, they're kind of a mom and pop spirit. I actually talked to the people like high up who you would never think would get on a phone call with me, and they talked to me about it, and that's the kind of service that Cross Country Mortgage provides. They also are very, very efficient, fast closings with a highly efficient process. In most cases, underwriting is complete in 24 hours or less, and that is very important because they partner with top vendors to offer the best technology without the big price tag. They make sure that the savings are passed on to you, that you're getting the best deal, and that's Cross Country Mortgage. So go right now, ccmlens.com/corp to learn more about your future home buying experience. That's ccmlens, cclens.com/corp to learn more. Cross Country Mortgage LLC, NMLS 3029, Equal Housing Opportunity. Go to crosscountrymortgage.com for licensing and disclosures. Can't stress it enough. If you are looking to buy a home, you've got to go check out our friends at Cross Country Mortgage. They will make sure that you have the best situation, you have the best experience when you buy your home, especially if you're a new first-time home buyer. So Cross Country Mortgage, go check them out, ccmlens.com/corp. Okay, here he is, Kevin Durant.
You're listening to The Corp, presented by Barstool Sports.
Okay, we now welcome on this episode of The Corp, a very special guest. It is two-time NBA champ, two-time Finals MVP, 10-time NBA All-Star, Kevin Durant. Thank you for joining us, KD. Appreciate that. Where should we start? We have so many things that we need to get to. I guess we'll start with the injury and how are you doing right now?
I'm doing better. Doing more every week, just strengthening up my leg, just trying to just build that strength. And really, my Achilles is healed. No pain when I'm moving around or anything like that. But excuse me. But just building up strength.
So I actually thinking about how I wanted to attack this interview. I see a lot of parallels between you, A-Rod, your career, and Kevin's Durant. We'll get to the business stuff, but the injury. I'm interested in this, and you can answer, A-Rod, as well, because you were obviously out for an entire year. You're out for a year this year, Kevin. How hard is it to, stay connected to the sport, to your teammates, to, be locked in when you're out and away from everything for an entire year?
It's difficult, especially when I love to play so much. I love being in that atmosphere so much, and to not, do my normal routine or to be around the team as much on the road, just to build that camaraderie, especially with a new group that I'm on. It definitely feels different, It's one of those feelings where it's just every day I don't know how I'm going to feel. It's up and down moods for me sometimes. When I watch a game, I got to turn it off quick because I want to be in the game, So it's just a long process, man. I just try to stay patient through it all.
Right.
Another common denominator between KD and I is that we both went to the big bad Yankees, the big bad Golden State, and a team that had an embarrassment of riches, and like the Yankees and Golden State, already world champions. A lot of similarities there. A few questions. Kind of walk me through what you were thinking with your inner circle. Why Golden State? Who was 2? Who was number 3?
Yeah.
And how was that a challenge for you?
Well, being in OKC for so long, I reflected on my time there as a player. You know, what I did with the city and for my teammates, all that stuff. I really, you can't deny that stuff. But as a basketball player, I looked at the landscape of the team and where I wanted to take my game. I felt in OKC we had a lot of athletes on the floor, and I was one of the main guys that was accounted for to be a skill player, which is make threes, create plays. And I wanted to be around more players that play like me. You know, in Golden State, you had Steph Curry who can shoot. You had Klay Thompson who can shoot and make plays. Andre Iguodala who was a do-everything forward, and Draymond Green as well. You know, and I think our talents meshed together, and I felt like my game was going to take the next step if I was playing around some players like that.
KD, give me one thing you've learned from each one of those players you mentioned, and include Coach Kerr, because that was such a stellar group, and your game just went to, it was at a high level, it went to like out of this world.
Yeah, when you're on the team and you're tasked with doing a certain thing, I had to, Coach wanted me to score, play defense, move without the basketball. When I was just told to do those 3 things, I really locked in on it. And seeing the other guys just lock in on their role, you didn't want to step outside your lane and do something, different from the team. So I just, really figured out what it meant to play on a team.
And from Curry?
And to be with Steph, somebody that's so skilled at the game, and his methods on how he, gets those shots off, and his balance when he's shooting those shots. It's just his approach to his craft is a little different from the norm. Whereas, like, he's always focused on his balance, focused on where his eyes are at the rim. It's really hard to explain. It's like he's pretty good at everything when it comes to hand-eye coordination, and it's like you can see it while he's working out. So just took the small gems from him and on shooting and ball handling and passing and using your offhand and stuff like that. And Klay, just somebody who's a machine. He never stops, running, moving around on the floor. His jump shot is so quick. His feet is always on time. So, just a real small, intricate parts of the game I try to take from everybody.
And the guy that one thing, Dan, because I love this guy Green, everyone hates him. He's like Dennis Rodman. Yeah. But he seems like such a key part of your team. Yeah. Give me one thing on him, because I really like him.
Well, he was kind of the glue. He kind of, if you seen a fire out there on defense, he was going to be the one to cover it up, So if somebody was in the post, for example, if I was in a post against a guy that was bigger and stronger than me, I knew for a fact that Draymond was going to come over to have my back and help me out. So, when you have guys that you can rely on the defensive side of the ball like that, and someone who's proactive and seeing it play before it happens, it makes your job way easier. It makes you more relaxed out there as a player. So, if you don't play the game, you don't realize that stuff, and you don't see the flow of the game. And when you look at Draymond, you only may see the antics as far as, how he hypes the crowd up, how he wants to hype his team up. But, like, the small stuff that he does in the game really was beneficial for guys like Steph, Klay, and myself, and made us really, really feel comfortable on the offensive side.
Do you get mad when, and this is a question for both of you, when casual fans don't understand those intricacies of the game? Not to name names, but I'm definitely one of them. Like when they make judgment and they're not seeing everything, and they don't know everyone's responsibility in a certain set or whatever it may be, that they then just jump to the conclusion that guy stinks or that guy had a bad game. And you don't see the other stuff.
I used to get upset, because I thought everybody who watched the game, who chimed in on the game, really pays attention like that. But it's moving so fast. There's a lot happening in the NBA, so it's hard to focus in on the small parts of the game. So I get it. There's an entertainment aspect to it, and people enjoy what they see from the surface level. But there's also some fans that want to know this information as well. So I try to give them that too.
I feel like that's evolved with you. I feel like earlier in your career you might have gotten a lot, not angrier, but just more like, hey, you guys aren't really watching the game. Yeah. And then you realize most people can't watch the game at the level that you're thinking the game. Or really no one can.
Yeah, I mean, because I always looked at myself as a guy that developed this. I wasn't born with this type of knowledge or talent for the game, and I felt like if I love something as much as basketball, I mean, if people want to be in it 24/7 like they are now, they should want to know, the deeper parts of the game. So that's how I thought everybody should view the game, but that's not reality.
So
Yeah, go ahead. Oh, I was going to say the one last thing on Draymond. So I found this as kind of a parallel as well. Your relationship with Draymond, very criticized, it's under a microscope. Your relationship with Derek Jeter, under a microscope. Both of you, when you see the media, fans just deciding how interact with this person, not understanding like how you actually interact with them day to day, does that make you mad, or are you frustrated? Do you guys laugh? Did you laugh with Derek ever, being like, can you believe the New York Post thinks this when in reality it's this?
KD?
I want to hear your answer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we laugh sometimes. Sometimes we didn't laugh, I think part of being brothers is sometimes brothers agree, disagree. But the one thing we agreed with every day is, here's a guy who's a 5-time world champion. He came up and did it in the greatest city in the world every day. And it was my job as an outsider to mold into the Yankee way. And it took me a while, and I made a lot of mistakes. I imploded myself by saying things that were forgiven in Seattle and Texas, but really shouldn't have been. And I came to New York unprepared to a degree, and I learned with boots on the ground. And the one thing I can tell you, that all of that came around in 2009, and when we were able to raise that banner in New York City, there's nothing like it. Yeah,
like you said, I mean, you go through a season. I mean, we were around these guys every single day. And Draymond and I really, our relationship was pretty perfect, up until, we had a argument on the court in L.A. But after that, I felt like just, media members and, just wanted to get deeper into the story and figure out why that happened. And, once you want to go deeper into that, you got hundreds and thousands of media members that's trying to dissect the story. It can get overwhelming at times, especially for the rest of the guys on the team. So I understood why it was a big deal, because we were champions, and that was the first blow up, and everybody looked at us as like the perfect team. But that's just how basketball is. That's how sports is. You get into it, you move on, and you figure it out. And we almost had a chance to win.
Yeah, and I also think what happens in sports a lot, and you both have had to deal with this, and again, this is probably partially my fault, is that we love to build guys up, and then we love to tear them down. And we love to see teams win, and then if they win more than once, we're like, fuck these guys. We don't want to see them win anymore, and we love to see them fight. So it's probably frustrating, I would imagine, from that perspective, where it's like, you guys loved me, 1 year ago, and now you hate me kind of deal.
It's really not that serious. I don't think guys focus on it that much. We come in and we to be honest, before like social media, the only thing you really worried about was like fans at the games. Like somebody might heckle you here and there, but like, is if you stay off the internet, it's really not that bad as a player. We don't really get to hear all of that stuff that goes on, but the internet is such a huge part of our lives right now. It's hard to avoid it, but you know what it is. It's entertainment. You know what the clicks are for, and you know what people want to see at this point. So, but it doesn't. I don't think it affects anybody's game out there on the floor, or make them. They don't make rash decisions out in the public because of it. But it's an entertainment aspect that is involved.
Katie, I wanted to be an NBA player so bad.
Really?
When I was 12 years old, I quit baseball. And thank God for my mother. She had 2 jobs, but she had the wits about her to realize that there's not too many Dominican players in the NBA, right? And, Felipe made a good run, and my boy Hartford, too.
Yeah.
Hartford can play. But I then shifted back to baseball. When you think about, I grew up watching Larry Bird versus Magic, Isaiah versus Michael.
Yeah.
When you think about LeBron James and KD, number one, is he that rival for you? And if it is LeBron, how did LeBron make you a better player?
Well, since I was in 9th grade and I turned on ESPN one day, LeBron James was the guy that people said is the next Jordan. So in my mind, I was a 6'2" like JV player. I didn't play varsity my first year, my 9th grade year. So in my mind, I was like, this is the best player. So I have to be as good as this, or I have to look him in the eyes at some point in my career. So, that was always in the back of my mind as I worked, as I played games. I wondered, because that's what was told to me, that was the new guy, that was the next Jordan. So, but that evolved into like, that's just another competitor, So, but just having somebody that's been around since I took basketball serious and we're still playing against each other, that's pretty special to me, the longevity. And you can call it a rivalry, you can call it whatever, but to have somebody at the same position, whereas we guarding each other when we play, is definitely special, because he's one of the best players that ever touched the floor.
Do you think that the criticism that the NBA has changed where guys don't hate each other like they used to, do you think that's valid?
I think guys respect each other, but it's still a level of guys we don't shake hands during a game or like wish like it's different right now as far as like we respect each other on another level, and we understand that we're all individuals and we're coming together to play on somebody else's team, but at the same time we want to win. That competitive fire is still there, but it is a different feel,
right,
amongst the players. It's like we all respect the journey we took, and we know how hard it is to get here. So it's more open now.
That's also, I think, something with the technology. Like, you can text easier, you can interact,
Way more
people's
connected,
relationship. You know what they're like just reading their Twitter or their Instagram.
Yeah.
Whereas I'm sure in the '90s, like, what are you gonna call? Like, Michael Jordan's not gonna call Isaiah Thomas.
Yeah.
If they could text, I'm sure they would have. A-Rod, who was your guy? Who was, Kevin mentions in 9th grade he sees LeBron. Who was your guy that you're like, I got to be that guy?
I had three, and it was because those are the teams we got covered on television. Back then we just had cable, and the three teams were the Mets with WOR, and it was Keith Hernandez, and I love Straw. And then I was a tall shortstop, and forever people said, you're too tall to play shortstop. I'm sure you heard that as a shooter. You're too tall to be that good of a shooter. For me, that was Cal Ripken, who was 6'4", and obviously played many games in the streak. And then third, I would say was Dale Murphy, because they were on TBS, and they were America's team. And all these three guys played every day. They were leaders. They were blue-collar guys, and I came up watching my mother, serving tables as a waitress, and I just kind of, gravitated to that kind of blue-collar hard work from those guys.
Interesting. So let's talk a little business. First of all, the boardroom. When you did that, did you like blatantly decide you were going to rip us off, or what was the idea behind that? Yeah, you're like, oh, that's pretty good.
And why haven't we been invited to the boardroom?
By Big Cat and A-Rod, like, let me just take that. So
exactly.
Yeah.
Me and Rich seen the opportunity to bring a lot of people together to talk about stuff outside of just the field of play and what they're doing outside of the game. And there's a lot of interesting topics out there, a lot of interesting things that these athletes are getting into, that are that they've leveraged, their platforms and to get into other fields, and it's pretty interesting. So we just wanted to sit down and talk with everybody about it.
What's like the most impressive either guest or lesson you've learned from talking to all these people?
We had the first season we had a few owners on. I think Ballmer, Josh Kroenke.
Was Ballmer sweating?
Yeah, he was.
And screaming.
And screaming.
I love that.
Who else? Was it Rick Welts? Who else?
I think you had Michael Rubin on as well at some point.
At some point. But just to hear their perspective on why they bought these teams and the direction that they see these franchises going, because it's bigger than what we see on the court. And there's a lot of stuff happening behind the scenes that's, changing economies in these states and in these cities. So it's pretty interesting to hear them talk about that.
And you said you want to own an NBA team at some point.
Yeah.
A-Rod and I are going to buy the Yankees at some point.
That's expensive.
I'm going to throw in a couple bucks, whatever. But so what's appealing to you about owning an NBA team? I mean, that seems, I don't know, it feels like one of those things where it's going to be a lot of work. And what is the thing that you're like, I really want to do this. I think I can do this better.
I mean, leaving your imprint on a state, on a city, through the game of basketball is, this is what I live for. I guess that's the next evolution for me from being a player, is to teach the game and to give back what I've learned, and also just from seeing the landscape of the NBA over the last 13 years from a business aspect. Just been learning over that time, and by the time I retire, who knows what type of information and knowledge I'll have. So hopefully I had a capital as well.
Kevin, we have, I was very, very fortunate to play for one of my heroes, George Steinbrenner, and he bought the New York Yankees in 1973 for about $10.3 million from CBS, I believe. And I think he about had $1 million or $2 million of equity. Obviously, the landscape of ownership has changed tremendously, but I will never forget this. My first spring in 2004 with the Yankees, spring training, we stretched around 10 in the morning, and report was around 9. And 3 mornings in a row. I just wanted to get there early. I just wanted to really just get to know just the clubhouse members, everybody around kind of the Yankee universe. It was very intimidating. The pinstripes are very, very heavy. And when you first put them on, you feel them, and it's a tangible feel. What was interesting is I was the first one to the park about 6:30 in the morning, but it was still dark out. And through the mist, I saw what I thought was a black BMW, but it was blue. And it was a 750 BMW. And I get closer and closer, and I see the tag, and it says GMS, George Steinbrenner, first guy in the field.
That's crazy.
7 o'clock in the morning, 6:30, and he was there the next day and the next day. And then I realized the greatness of him.
Yeah.
And about once a week, the clubhouse manager, Robbie Kakuza, would say, "A-Rod, the boss wants to see you." I said, "Where?" "In the penthouse." Oh, boy. And I would go up there, and he was so great to me. He would write me these personal letters. He would say, "What are you doing with your batting stance? Get up there and let me see your batting stance."
Yeah.
And it was just awesome. What kind of owner is Kevin Durant going to be?
Good question.
That's commitment. I think somebody that loves the sport, that loves to see development, that loves to see his players do well. That's all that sounds like. And for me, I mean, my whole thing is like, I enjoy seeing players do well out on the floor, and I enjoy helping them develop in some way. And I think as an owner, if you want to see that in everybody that works for you, your business can only grow. So that's probably the attitude I'll have with it. Probably less. Probably not 6:30 in the morning every morning, but somehow just always being involved and engaged and committed to what you're working for, and knowing that you have a purpose in it. So that's just passion, I guess.
Will you be the type of owner who, like, when you draft a new player, you play them one-on-one just so you can show them
probably
who's
so.
boss? I mean, Michael Jordan ruined Kwame Brown. So,
that's the pre-draft workouts. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, just let them know that you're still you could come back if you wanted to. All right, so 35 Ventures. What you guys invest in a ton of different stuff.
Yeah.
Is there like one common theme or thing you look for when you're trying to invest with a new company or new people?
It's just something that we stuff that we're usually passionate in, stuff that we usually it could be anything that we it's authentic to what we like to do. I mean, and obviously the CEOs and the owners, the creators, are people that we want to get and get to talk to and be involved with. But outside of that, it's usually products that we all enjoy.
Yeah. What's your favorite one that you've invested in, or the one that maybe you're like most passionate about?
I mean, we're in Acorns. And,
okay.
That was really when I heard about that, when that was the game changer, is where you can invest your change, I guess, your change after you pay for something, you can invest the change.
It like rolls over, it like rounds up.
Yeah, it rounds up, exactly. So yeah, that was I thought that was pretty informative. I thought that was dope. And Postmates obviously is pretty cool too.
Yeah. Do you get a discount?
No. I know, right?
I mean, you should have like a special code or something.
You have one of the most dynamic people in sports as a partner in Rich Kleiman. I've known Rich almost 20 years, and I mean, he's the ultimate gritty kind of, I call those guys PhD, right? Poor, hungry, and driven.
Yeah.
I met his father yesterday. Great guy, great style. Rich didn't get the style, but he got the brains.
Yeah.
But I love what you're doing, because you're thinking so far ahead, and you're only 31 years old, and you're already thinking about what life is going to be at 41 and 51. And the way you guys do it, not only do you make a perfect team, but I am excited. And I think you and I with the Corp, we're going to do a lot of excitement things. We might let Dan, because Dan is in parole right now with my company. But
always permanent.
When you think about deploying capital, how small of a check would you write, and how large of a check would you write?
That's we talked about that recently. It's something that we definitely want to start writing larger checks and seeing where that could take us. We worked our way up, first few years and getting into the game, getting our feet wet a little bit. But now with our, just the knowledge that we have, we're trying to step it up another level.
I like it.
Larger
checks for you, Dan. Right?
Yeah, well, I still haven't gotten a check from the Corp, so I will work for KD
tough.
Corp if you give me a check.
Warrants.
Yeah, I'm ready for it. I'm ready to get paid by who the highest bidder, which is literally $1 at this point. That's crazy though. The Acorn thing, I was reading about it. I actually love that idea. So it's basically, for people who don't know, it's a company that when you make a transaction, it rounds up and puts it into an investment. So it pushes younger kids people in their early 20s to start investing earlier in life.
Yeah.
Which is, I mean, I don't want to get political, but the baby boomers have stolen all the real estate and money in the world. So it'd be nice if we could get a little something for ourselves.
Dan,
So,
how old is your child right now?
5 months.
5 months. So with Acorns, one of the things it tricks you almost to savings, right? And we have so much change, we just throw it away. The idea is that you go to Starbucks, it's $5.40. It rounds up 60 cents, and it puts it in a fund where it starts investing it for you. And your savings, and you're not even thinking you're doing it. But for you, with your young child, you can put in $5 a day, and when your child is 61 years old, he would have around $5 million, and that's compounding interest.
Damn.
That's crazy.
That is crazy. I thought you were going to say when he's 61 years old, the Earth will be exploding because global warming. But yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, that's a lot of money. Kevin, what's the next step for your shoe line? I don't like your shoes.
Why not?
Why not?
They're the metal thing in the back. I think it's because I have like fucked up ankles.
You're not an athlete.
And not, yeah, I know that's
a
really
good
what
point.
it is. No,
That's
it
a
is
good
true.
point.
No,
That's
Clearly
fair.
made
That's
for
fair.
basketball players.
the first time that Kevin and I
He likes him to
interacted
watch football on Sundays
on
on the couch.
Instagram DM, I was playing like 6 a.m. down the street, just like a regular pickup run, and I had an Instagram story of it. And I think I said like ball is life, and Kevin just slid in my DMs and he said, get that shit out of here. And I was like, yeah, that's probably right. You'd probably puke if you watched me play basketball.
I didn't say it. I didn't say that, did I?
I think you said like,
I said like fuck out of here.
You get that off
like,
my court.
I was
or
like
something
fuck out of here.
Yeah, fuck out of here. Get off my court or something like that.
No, I didn't say that. I just said fuck out of here.
Okay, well,
because
either
you're not
way.
really you talk a lot of shit about basketball.
Oh, yeah.
About athletes.
Correct.
And I don't mind it, but I mean,
No, I'm not an athlete.
you
But
at least got to play. If you're gonna talk shit about basketball, at least play a pickup game at least once a month.
I play every week.
Then you can talk shit.
Okay. I love basketball. I do. I play every single Saturday morning. So maybe you come to our run. I'll show you how it's done.
Is that indoor or outdoor?
It's indoor.
Nice.
I play outdoor too.
Summertime outdoor.
Yeah, summertime outdoor, half court.
So
Fucks
Kevin,
up your knees a little bit though,
Yeah,
because it's hard court.
Let's stop talking about ankles from my man Dan. But seriously, Brooklyn Nets.
Yeah.
Joe Tsai, one of the great businessmen, number 2 to Jack Ma in Alibaba, went to Yale, a brilliant investor and operator. What about him and Brooklyn and where they were going enticed you to come to the great city of Brooklyn?
Well, he's a new owner and definitely excited about basketball and in direction the Nets were going. So I felt like, having that new energy in the organization is only going to be good moving forward. And Joe Tsai definitely appreciates having players like myself and Kyrie there as veteran guys that's won championships as he enters into the NBA. I think that's only going to help him out as he moves through. So it's a great partnership. I'm looking forward to actually getting out on the court and playing for the Nets. But in the meantime, it's been pretty cool building relationships with everybody in the organization.
I can't wait when you come back because we're going to be in the building. That's going to be exciting. It's going to be awesome. I can't wait.
There's
There's some Knicks fans that's going to be in there on the low too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. When you decided to go to the Nets, was it a somewhat easy decision?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it happened pretty fast. Because I was thinking about it for a long time.
Right.
And where I wanted to take my life at this point, not just like free agency, just where I wanted to live, where I wanted to do in the next 5 years of my life, and being in New York City, being around family and friends. Maryland is 2.5 hours away, so my family could come up on a train pretty easily. And being back in the mecca of basketball, I felt, it was perfect for me. So, it was all that stuff I was thinking about it throughout the whole season, and kind of July 1st, it was like, I'm ready to be done with it.
How much does, when you're in free agency, how much does like jersey colors and team colors play into it?
The black and white played a huge factor.
Like, that's a cool jersey. Like, no offense to some of the other franchises out there, but
the black and white played a huge factor.
There's a couple teams out there that I wouldn't even consider if I were a free agent.
Do you like the new City Edition jerseys?
I do. I like the City Edition jerseys. The court color is a little confusing. It looks like a.
It's different. It's gray.
It's like a Mountain West. Like, I feel like if I was watching like Colorado State play UNLV, that's what I would see.
Yeah, I feel you.
But I'll get used to it. But okay, so it's good to know that that actually does play at least like 1% You're like, I want to at least have cool colors. Okay, cool.
Absolutely.
I mean, it should.
That's an important question to ask.
It is an important question. We're going to take a quick break from Kevin Durant. More Kevin Durant coming up in a second, but I want to talk to you guys about our friends from Simply Safe. Here's the thing about home security companies. Most trap you with high prices, tricky contracts, and lousy customer support. So while there are a lot of options out there, there's only one no-brainer, and that is Simply Safe. Simply Safe's got everything you need to protect your home with none of the drawbacks of traditional home security. It's got an arsenal of sensors and cameras to blanket every single room, window, and door, tailored specifically for your home. Professional monitoring keeps watch day and night, ready to send police, fire, or medical professionals if there's an emergency. You can set it up yourself in under an hour. Just peel and stick the sensors exactly where you need them. No technician required, and there's no contract, no pushy sales guy, no hidden fees, no fine print. All this starts at $15 a month. I'm not the only one who thinks Simply Safe is great, because U.S. News and World Report named it the best overall home security of 2020. Try Simply Safe today at simplysafe.com/corp. You get free shipping and a 60-day risk-free trial. There's nothing to lose. That's simplysafe.com/corp. Simplysafe.com/corp. Again, free shipping and a 60-day risk-free trial. Nothing to lose here except the security of your own home. So that's what you need. Simply Safe. They will make sure everything is secure and ready to go. Simplysafe.com/corp. Okay, back to Kevin Durant.
Kevin, I have some friends that went to UT and lived down in Austin, and I cannot tell you how much, obviously you know how much you love there. First of all, why UT, and why do people love you? It's like you played there yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, Coach Barnes at the time, he was the head coach for probably, I want to say, at least 10 years. I might be off on that, but he had built a culture there that I really was drawn to. You know, having from T.J. Ford to LaMarcus Aldridge to P.J. Tucker to so many guys I'm missing, but he had built a nice culture of like, we're developing. You know, we know you're a great player, but it really doesn't matter. You have to get better as a player. Like, he didn't cater to me. He really was the hardest on me, and I took to that because that's how I was raised playing the game. You know, so you know, obviously, you know, I wanted to. You know, Austin is, when I went down there for a visit, I was like, oh yeah, there's no point in me going anywhere else. But I also wanted to be so far from where I grew up that I just wanted to be by myself in that environment with different people, you know. So it was a 4-hour flight from home. Like, people couldn't just drive and pull up to the games. It was just, I really felt isolated out there. And
what was the best part about it? Did you enjoy it?
Just playing for the team and that excitement at that point, because we were a young group, and you know, I was a freshman that was doing things that never been done before, and just the excitement around campus. We had just won a national championship in football the year before, so it was like so much going on campus. The baseball team was solid, so it was just booming. It was booming for sports.
And Austin was booming. It was starting to take off. It hasn't stopped.
Yeah, it was taking off. I was seeing new buildings go up, you know, every other month. I was seeing more people saying they're moving down to Austin and visiting, so I go back now, it feels like, you know, you're in San Francisco almost. So, you know, it's great to see how far it's come, and to be attached to Texas for the rest of my life is pretty sweet too.
Do you think it's the right move that they're getting rid of the one and done? Probably, at least in the near future.
Most definitely. You know, I think it's corrupting the college game. You know, when you forcing these guys who know they should be in the NBA to go to college. You know, it's not really doing much for these programs to have them there for just a year and ship them out, you know. So it's not really making the college game great, but, you know, these guys should make the choice to go pro when they want.
If you had the choice when you were deciding, I mean, obviously you didn't have the choice, but if you did have the choice to go into the NBA directly from high school, would you have done it?
Yeah. I pretty much had no choice. You know, I was coming from nothing, basically. And, you know, you see that in front of you, you got to take it. And it's my dream to play in the league, so for sure.
Yeah, that's interesting.
So, Kevin, I know that you have a great relationship with Adam Silver, who's done a phenomenal job, one of the true great commissioners.
Yeah.
What the NBA's done is incredible. They've really connected with the next generation. You have over 100 employees, team members on the floor in China. You have over a $5 billion business in China. You know, obviously I love baseball, and it's my first love. You're a champion on the court. You're a champion with philanthropy. Now you're becoming a champion in 35 Ventures. My question is If you were to be a commissioner of Major League Baseball for just 24 hours, what kind of things would you advise us to move the game forward and make it younger?
Damn, that's tough. I mean, you guys, see, I don't know much about the system, obviously, as much as the NBA. But as a young player, we got teams full of like 18 to 22-year-olds, and your face of your franchise now is probably 23. So the league is getting younger in general because guys are coming in at that age, and you know, usually bad teams are getting picks after picks after picks full of young guys. So they're pushing the older guys out, the veteran guys out, and I think that's making our league a little bit more fun, more energetic, and more, you know, kid friendly. And baseball is, I don't feel like it's that many teams that has that young energy. And it's just, I guess, that tradition of how deep the sport is, and how many levels you have to get through just to make it to the big leagues. You know, it's just
they're eliminating a lot of those minor league teams. One of the initiatives for Commissioner Rob Manfred is he's making it a little bit leaner and probably faster to get to the major leagues.
Oh, that's smart.
Yeah, that's, I mean, I think, you know, that's what definitely grows the business. It keeps it fresh when you got younger and fresh talent in there at all times, always circulating through. So, you know, you never know who's going to be the next superstar. You don't want to see the same guys over and over again as a fan, just watching.
Right.
So, you know, just making our league younger is definitely, you know, made it more, you know, more kid-friendly and more people watch it because they love to see. Because now you're going to see these guys from 18 to 36. So you're seeing a full life of these guys now, and not just one or two players, but like a whole league full of guys. So
being a guy that grew up in D.C., did you have a little cocktail for the Nationals winning their first championship in 95 years?
Wow, that was, for sure. It was crazy that we didn't win a home game.
That's crazy.
But it was amazing to see the reaction to it, man. It was a long time coming, but to have the Mystics and the Caps.
Yep. City champions, district champions. Look behind you, that shirt.
We can, once the Redskins come aboard, we'll have the City of Champions.
I don't know if that's, I mean.
That might take a while.
You actually might have to buy the Redskins before you buy an NBA team.
I think we might as well just go ahead and change our color scheme to the navy and the red, white, and blue.
Yes. What's your favorite sport to watch besides basketball? Is it football?
Yeah. I feel like I get into a new sport every other year. I was really watching baseball. I bought the package a couple years ago.
Nice.
I was really trying to
MLB package.
But there's so many numbers I had to work through.
Games.
So many stats I had to figure out.
Yes.
And it was definitely time consuming.
What about soccer? Have you done that yet?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's your team?
It's similar to basketball to me.
Yeah. It actually is. Like when you watch it and the movement and guys making plays that are, you know, like there'll be a build up to a big play that's similar to, you know, moving the ball in basketball.
There's a lot of grace that has to be involved when you're playing.
Yeah.
And it flows like water out there.
Yeah.
So Dan, I'm going to give him a few questions. I'm interested in like knowing who has game, and I want you to kind of do a little rapid fire. Best shooter, natural shooter you've ever played against. You could include yourself.
Best natural shooter.
You haven't played with Joe Harris yet.
I mean, Steph is the best natural shooter, but like he's at the point now, like you can't even include him in shooting conversations because it's like he's one, and we're gonna talk about the rest. But natural, I would say like Steve Novak was a great natural shooter. Like that's all he probably did as a kid was shoot.
How about ball handler? Best handle.
Kyrie Irving.
Best rebounder.
It's a tie between Dennis Rodman and Andre Drummond.
Best defender.
Tony Allen.
And the best clutch money player.
Kobe. I was scared shitless of Kobe late in the games.
Why can't we do Slim Reaper as the nickname? Why did you not let?
It wasn't time. It is time now.
It is? Fuck yes. The best nickname of all time.
Yeah, it wasn't time back then.
It really is. Like I think about it more than I should. Probably once a month I'm like, damn, I wish Kevin Durant was Slim Reaper.
Yeah, there's something simmering underneath with that.
Yeah, because it's like, especially, you know, late game, NBA Finals, here comes a Slim Reaper to snatch your soul.
Yeah, it's time now. Back then, it was too good of a nickname for me to just take at that age.
That's actually fair. I never thought of it that way. Like, when you're 21, it'd probably be tough to be the Slim Reaper.
Yeah, like, I'd rather wait till I finish cooking.
Did you like the Durantula?
No.
Okay. Yeah, that one's kind of corny.
Yeah,
I agree with that. Yeah.
Kevin, you went to the White House in kind of 2016?
Yeah.
And I I understand there was a private meeting between you and President Obama.
Yeah.
Anything you can share, or is there something about Obama that inspires you, that motivates you, role model, anything?
We talked about some stuff how I can help in my community, being from that area. So we talked about different things, different programs that I can help with. But outside of that, he's a huge basketball fan. So at that point, I was just going into free agency, and everybody in the world wanted to know if I was leaving the Thunder. So that was the first thing he asked when I walked in. So where you going? It's like you can't go over there with those shooters over there. That'd be too much. I was like, in my mind, I was like, that's where I'm going.
Yeah, already made up my
Yes.
mind. Yeah.
But no, he's a huge fan of the game, and you could tell that he loves watching.
Did you, if you played with him, would you let him score?
No.
Okay.
I played with him before.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
And how was his game?
It was cool. You don't really want to. I was 21 at the time, so I was really nervous to really get into it. And it was the morning after a long night, so it was.
You didn't want to follow. You probably had Secret Service everywhere watching you.
Yeah, they definitely had the snipers on the roof. With that.
Right.
But to play hoops with him was dope.
Like I've seen Obama play, and he clearly knows how to play. But there's definitely an element where he's probably put up some numbers that maybe are slightly inflated.
Definitely, because how hard a defense you gonna play
on the president? Right. I don't think you're hand checking the president.
No.
So Kevin, you're at a point in your career where you've pretty much done it all, and you've reached an economic level that's, as a kid, you never dreamt of, as did all of us, really, that we're lucky to be doing this. Yeah. My question to you is, at this point in your life, if you were to curate a dinner for 5, who would be the other 4 that you can bring to your dinner?
Obama. Who else would I bring?
I'm free. If you, I am free.
Yeah, I'll bring you. Probably my mom's. Damn, man, that's a tough one.
It is tough.
That's a tough one. Elon Musk.
He's kind of a fraud, I think.
And Joe Rogan.
Okay, that's a good one.
Interesting.
That's a good one.
It's a good mix.
You don't like Elon Musk?
I don't know. I mean, I feel like he starts a bunch of projects and he never finishes them.
What do you think about the new truck?
Did you see them throw the rock at it?
Yeah, but
But he promised me, armored glass, and then it broke.
All right. It's a pickup truck.
Yeah, I know. I was like, what the hell?
You sound like you bought the stock and you lost money. What happened?
I just want, just stick to one thing. Get me to Mars. I want to go to Mars. I want to, go to the bottom of the ocean. I don't know. It feels like he just jumps from project to project. He was going to build that, I think he tried to invent.
Did he do the Hyperloop, too?
Yeah, what's up with the Hyperloop? Where's that?
See, the Hyperloop, so you can go from East Coast to West Coast, right?
Right.
I don't understand how you could do that physically.
That's what I'm saying. I feel like every time he starts a project, I get excited about it, and then
project I like the cars and the flamethrowers. Everything else, I was kind of like,
yeah.
SpaceX is cool, but I want to see something from that.
Right. I want send someone to Mars, have them do a periscope from Mars, and then I'll be impressed.
Exactly.
That was
so at
cool.
this dinner we could
be like
with Joe Rogan and
and I'll be there.
Yeah,
I like that.
I'm definitely in. All right, so we're gonna wrap up here in a minute. Social media. Where are you at with social media these days? I feel like you took a turn for a good way, where you kind of embrace the fact that, hey, guess what? I'm online. Who cares?
Yeah, I'm at my peak. I still have burners that I use.
Oh, really?
For sure.
Okay.
I feel like almost every athlete has a burner.
Yeah, I have a burner Twitter account still.
Does it ever tweet at me?
No.
Okay.
See, when people use that burner thing against me, they only thought I was over there just to talk shit. I was really indulging in a lot of different communities on my burner. So when I deleted it, I was like, what the these people really made me delete what I enjoyed, which is my burner account.
Right.
So I got another one.
Right.
So talk to friends, just to kind of do my own thing on the side, I
like that.
But I'm at my peak on Twitter. I think a lot of my followers enjoy my content.
I agree. Like I said, I think the burner, not controversy, but you having a burner was almost a turning point. Whereas after the way you dealt with it, you're like, yeah, that was my burner.
I love it.
Yeah.
So
at first I was I felt embarrassed, and I was after a while I was just really? It's just social media.
Right. And now it's kind of fun being yeah, Kevin Durant's online, and I actually don't think he cares. Because I think there was at one point in time, there was like a lot of, I'm triggering Kevin Durant, and there were a lot of people would send me DMs of like you responding to them and being like, you got to post this. I'm like, he responds to everyone, so
I look at it as if you send me a DM, I must have triggered you somehow.
I like that.
So if I respond back, I'm just giving you what you want, really.
So when you sent me a DM, I must have triggered you.
You did.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Because I was playing basketball.
Exactly.
I actually, so back to your shoes real quick. What's the next iteration? The problem with your shoes that I have is that my ankles do suck and I need high tops. So that's the only problem. Otherwise, they're good shoes.
Yeah, well, we got high tops coming in.
Okay.
Couple months.
So size 12. You know the address here.
It's a Foot Locker down the block.
I'll be
for sure.
I will be an official Kevin Durant athlete if you need me.
That might actually work.
Yeah.
Get a bunch of guys like you to
running up and down the court. I'm a big time.
Show the shoes are versatile.
Yeah, I don't shoot. I pretty much just rebound and set picks. Play hard defense.
Like Bill and Beer.
Yeah, I don't. My game is very simple. It's basically I don't shoot unless I get the rebound myself, and then most of the time I still don't shoot because my shot is terrible. So
well, just keep hooping, man. It's gonna come around.
I do love it. Yeah, I mean it's not. I'm 34, so it's not gonna come around.
Do you think Bill Simmons plays as much as you?
No, not as much anymore.
What about Robin Lundberg?
I don't know. I mean, I honestly do play once a week. So
no, I'm just saying. Do you think other guys in your field play as much as you?
Probably not.
What about Skip Bayless? You think he plays?
No.
Me either. What about one more, Nick Wright?
I know Nick. I'm friends with Nick.
Does he play?
I don't think he plays.
Yeah, that's a shame.
I don't know. There is an element. I kind of agree with you because I'm
at least get some shots.
I'm admittedly not good at basketball, but I do love playing, and I think it does add an element of. It almost is like every time I go out and play, I'm like, oh yeah, I remember how fucking hard this is.
Yeah, you get closer to the game when you play.
Right.
So talking about playing, I'm just kind of getting a little NBA fever here.
Okay.
KB, you're one of the greatest shooters of all time.
Yeah.
Can you show me, first of all, put your hand on this thing. It probably feels like a baseball in your.
So I'm gonna show you what I used to do when I was.
Yeah, show me. Where's the camera, Hank? Get in here, baby.
They're all over the place.
Oh,
they got them.
So I used to lay on the floor like this, watching Martin, and then when the commercials hit, I used to every commercial lay back like this.
I gotta see this.
So if you lay back like that, I used to just sit there, and I just, every time I put the ball up now, I just stuck there.
Now,
right.
Would you spin it? Would you spin it?
No, I'm just sitting there holding it.
And who are you visualizing? Are you visualizing like Larry Bird? Or?
No, I'm just like, it was just to make sure my arm is in that spot at all times.
Show me the position again.
So I'm laying all the way down on the floor this way, and I got it here. So I did that so much.
Here, I'll show you my shot real quick.
Oh,
so
please.
my elbow goes all the way out.
It's like
Yeah,
Picasso, and then
my elbow's like this.
You can't even see the court when you're doing that.
You really gonna do that after Kevin? You have some real guts.
That looked like a solid gym.
Real guts.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, listen. When my shot gets wet every now and then,
Did
watch
you say your
out.
shot gets wet?
Yes, it does.
What does that mean?
It's just wet.
It's just money.
You see it. You know it.
You see it.
Feel it when it gets wet.
I feel you.
Do you say ball is life?
No.
Okay. Yeah, I knew you didn't. I always feel so lame saying it, but I love saying it. Like,
I get it.
Ball is life, hoop dreams kind of thing, but not really. Okay. Any last questions, A-Rod, you got? This has been awesome.
Yeah, it has really been awesome. Is there 31 years old, Kevin Durant, world champion, MVP, you've done it all. Who is Kevin Durant, and what are you doing at the age of 41 to 45 in a perfect world?
I mean, that's so hard to say, but I mean, I'm at this point, I'm just prioritizing my mental health and just making sure I'm just prioritizing peace, and whatever comes from that, it comes from that. So, it's a crazy world we live in, playing professional sports in front of people. So, just realize what I'm doing it for, and realize who I'm doing it for, and hopefully by that age, everything is just set.
Yeah, in closing, and Dan, I'll let you close, but I just want to say that I've been a huge fan of what you've done on the court, the way you've conducted yourself with your family, the way your grandmother raised you. And, first of all, God bless. I'll continue to speedy recovery, and I hope you and your partner, Rich, keep killing it.
Thank you,
with
man.
35 Ventures.
Appreciate you.
Yeah, Kevin, thank you. I've said some things, so
it's all love.
My bad.
Keep saying them.
No, listen. You can.
You can't be one of those guys that talk shit, and then when the guy
I'll still say when you do things, I will say
Okay,
when you are being a triple B, I will say it.
Hold up.
What's a triple B?
See, that's something we'll talk about that. We'll
we
talk
almost
about
got
that
out
on.
of here. We
Is
almost
that
got
a
out of
triple?
here.
Yeah,
we
we'll
almost
talk.
got out
We'll
of
talk
here.
about that on the next pod.
Yeah. See,
Part two.
I started a fight between he and CJ McCollum on Twitter.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
I was at the center of that, and then every other news source just cropped me out. It was like, yeah, they're just fighting for no reason. It's like, actually, it was
Because of you.
because of me, because I'm a jerk online, and yeah, professional troll.
Me too.
Yeah, exactly. That's why we get along. All right, well, Kevin, thank you so much, man. Best of luck. We'll talk soon.
All right, fellas.